Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Chubbs Reviews, and today, well, I apologize if this video is long and doesn't even get that many watch time or whatever, because today I'm just going to be kind of ranting and talking about and reviewing, in a sense, probably my favorite game of all time. It's my second favorite game of all time, but it's the best game I've ever played, and that's why I've kind of sat and played it again. It's why I held off on a lot of the recent releases of the year. But Persona 5 Real. My friends call it Persona, but it is Persona 5, but an extended edition in which they've added a new character, a new confidant, new stuff in general to kind of make the game better, to sand out the edges, and even a whole extra thing at the end of the game. I guess if you don't know what Persona is, which most people don't, it's a very underrated game. I guess I'll start off with the negatives because it's way shorter. For one, it is pretty anime-ish. If you're like completely against anime or like don't want to be a weeb at all, I don't know, then you're not gonna like the art style, I guess, or just the way it is. But you don't even have to like. If I'm just saying, if you hate anime, if you don't mind anime and it's whatever, then this is go forward. Second thing, this game takes like a lot of your time. You have to be committed, basically. My playthrough only took 110 hours. A lot of people say 120 to 130 hours. And it does, but I mean, I kind of fast forward some things because I played the original, and here's the Royal version. Persona in general, I guess that's really the only two bad things. And there's a lot of dialogue. There's a shit ton of dialogue in the game. If you don't like a lot of dialogue, which you can really skip through it, you don't have to listen to everything, but it pops up a lot. Those are the three only minor complaints, and I don't mind that games are long, and I don't mind anime, so it's not even a complaint. The third one is kind of a complaint, but that is it. Everything else is flawless. This game never crashes, never breaks, never nothing glitches, nothing. And what this game is, Persona 5, Persona in general, I don't even know how to describe this game. It's huge. It's kind of mind-blowing. It is a turn-based RPG, Jrpg, and combat-wise it's turn-based, but it has some of the best turn-based combat in the game, in the world, and I've ever played. It's probably the reason I love this game the most is the combat. It has such a good weakness system in which there's like 10, 12 elements in the game. Wind, electricity, nuclear, cyanide. I don't even know. There's a few different ones, and every enemy usually has a type of weakness. If it doesn't, then you can use sleep abilities or dizziness or other I don't even know what you would call those, but other type of abilities. So either way, every enemy does kind of have a weakness, and you have weaknesses and blah blah blah. And personas are like, well, it's what a persona is. It's like a mask that you wear. In this game, it's literally a mask that people wear, especially the team that you are. You play as a guy named Joker. That's his code name, and you get to name him, I guess. But in a sense, his name is Joker, and you wield personas, which are like magical beings. And they could be a bunch of things. Like, there's gods in there. I was seeing all the gods from Smite and Odin and Thor, but there's all types of creatures and monsters. And with the main character, you're kind of like Pokemon, gotta catch them all, because your main character is a guy that can wield every persona in the game. All you gotta do is maybe capture it or fuse it together using other personas in the game. Your teammates, though, like over time during the game, you get teammates. You start off with like 2 or 3, and then you gradually get more. Your teammates only have their persona, their one persona, so that makes you special, that you can change every persona. You can build your personas with different abilities, and when you fuse 2 personas together, you choose what abilities carry over to the persona they made. But yeah, and that's just how like the gameplay kind of a sense goes. But what you really are, I guess, in this game is, by day it is a social simulator. In the game, like, I think it's kind of perfect for quarantine times. Like, if you can't go outside and watch a movie, you can fucking do that in this game with your best friends in the game. You can go batting, you can play darts, you can go to a jazz club, you can do anything almost, and go to parks, go to an aquarium, go see the tallest building in the fucking city. And all that has a purpose, even with the combat. Confidants are people that you hang out with. Some are your group members, some are just people in the world. And as you build a bond with them, you level up every few times you hang out with them, and you gain more. You guys hang out more and more, you become better friends. You grow a bond. When you get a higher bond with certain players, you get rewards, or like your teammates will be able to maybe heal, or not heal. They'll be able to withstand a shot with a final blow, but with 1 health remaining, so they won't automatically die. Or they'll help teammates recover from status ailments or whatever. Shit will grow, and then people that aren't part of your team, like there's a politician that you can go hang out with, and he'll teach you how to negotiate a better and personas to capture them. Like you have to kind of negotiate with them to, so your Joker guy can obtain them. There's other people, like a girl at a bar. She's like a reporter. She'll lower security levels in certain places. Trying to think who else. There's a kid in an arcade. There's a bunch of them, and these guys all have fascinating stories. Most of them, not on my second playthrough, but like your first time, just having these confidants have insanely, deep stories. You get Sojiro. I don't know why I'm just naming names, but he owns the cafe that you live at. So yeah, I haven't even gotten to really the story yet. That's just the by day gameplay. You go hang out with people, or you go see movies and do batting and stuff like that to increase your stats, like knowledge, proficiency, guts. There's like 5 of them, charm and something else. But anyway, by the end of the Persona 5 Royale version, you'll have all your stats maxed out, even the regular version, I guess. Don't even rush it. That's one thing I say. Don't rush when you play this game. Even when in the loading screens it says don't rush. The first time you play it, I 100% recommend it. But anyway, the story itself, you are Joker, like I said, a kid that has been, he kind of got mixed up in a little bit of a misunderstanding early in the game that dealt with an important person, which caused him to then get expelled, basically, and sent to another school. I don't know how that all made sense, but it kind of goes by that really quick. And now that you're here, you're looked at as a bad guy, in a sense, from your schoolmates and whatnot. You're a juvie student, and you live in the attic of a cafe run by a guy named Sojiro, which kind of is your father figure type thing in the game. But he's also a confidant, and you end up having this power. Through this app on your phone. Basically, you enter a palace by accident, and that's where the game gets wild. You enter it with this guy you just met, Ryuji, one of the best side characters in gaming ever. Ryuji Sakamoto, I don't even know, but just for real, like that. He's always saying that shit. All the characters, like I said, the confidants were cool, but your teammates, An, Ryuji, Makoto, fucking cat that talks, that you meet right away at the beginning of the game, Morgana, all the way down to like Akechi, someone that comes way later. I'll get to that. I'm not going to spoil too much in this game, but I'm trying to give you an idea of it. I don't show much gameplay, and I do recommend this game. When you run into this palace early on in the game, palaces are basically, I don't know if I want to spoil too much, but it is the mind or hearts of people that are distorted. If someone is very evil, and they run a bowling alley, and they I don't know, don't give people their shoes or something. It's just in their hearts, the place that they love, they just see the world differently, or it's changed. Okay, I'm just gonna spoil the first palace. In the beginning, there's a corrupted gym teacher. He sees his school as a castle, and that he's the king because everyone at school, he thinks everyone should worship him. He abuses his students. He sexually harasses some of the volleyball or the female girls or whatever. It does all types of shit, and it even gets more serious than that. I'm not spoiling that much. And that's just the first palace. That's the first guy you kind of go up against. You learn these powers. You learn how to get into hearts and steal their hearts. I should open the video off with, are you guys ready for me to steal your heart with this game? I need a drink. But, and you basically go through these palaces. I think it has a nice stealth element. You walk around, you can dash behind things, dash to other things. As long as you're sitting behind cover, enemies cannot see you, and you can ambush them when they're kind of walking about, and then you engage in combat. And if you ambush them, your full team moves first, and that's how combat flows really well. Especially when you got a full team of 4, they have 3 enemies on the field. They all have different weaknesses. You hit a weakness, you can baton pass to your teammate, which does more damage. Which gives them more damage and makes it their turn, and it's like an extra turn in general. If he does a damaging weakness, he baton passes to the third person and does an insane amount of damage, and that's how battles really flow well. There's also group attacks in which if you knock down the entire enemy team and they aren't like dead, you do a group attack in which everyone just clashes. Really fun, fantastic style of the game. That's where the style really shines, is in that stuff. Royale added Showtime events, which are like duo kind of group up thing moves. They're just really heavily animated and like cool and stylish, and they do a lot of damage. And those are awesome to get in the Royal version. Shit, there's even a place called Mementos, which is like the world's palace in the sense, and the world's heart, Disorder's heart, and that is like a place that you just keep kind of going down. Is like, you know, every floor is this bunch of monsters on, and you just keep going all the way down until you hit the bottom, and that's got a huge story element to it, and it's just a really cool place to grind and fight things. And man, the music in this game is the greatest music in any game ever. You could literally not even like this game. Look up Persona 5, like an OST, just this track, just listen to it. It's some smooth jazz with soul. I don't even know how to describe it. You would love this stuff. It's very lo-fi in my opinion, and it's great. And then it gets high up there when you're fighting bosses. So this game has some cool ass bosses. You know, there's a final boss at the end of every palace, the palace ruler basically, and his deformed way of whatever he is, it turns into, and they're just top tier bosses. Except for the game gets a little bit slow, I guess towards the middle. Or there's one palace boss that really ticks everyone off, Yokumura Palace. I think it's like the 5th palace in the game. And yeah, it's a little shaky, but you know, it's the first 5 palaces are really introducing you into the game, and they are like the prime of the Phantom Thieves, is the group you become, of kids basically who change the hearts of corrupted adults by night, and who are just regular students during the day. And everyone's great. There are so many great personalities in this. I can't like love this game enough. I platinumed it. Persona 5 Royal is my 2nd platinum ever, next to Rocket League. Yeah, I don't know how proud I am of that. It wasn't that hard. They actually turned out, like, they took out a lot of the hard trophies from the original. So it was very easy, but I still did it. And some of the personas you get later on, you can get like Satan and Lucifer and just top tier shit. I was level 95 by the end of the game. That's just in one playthrough. The extra version, the game used to end after like 8 palaces, and you start off in like April, and you play each day by day by day. Like, you play every day pretty much all the way up until the end of the game, which used to be like New Year's, and now they've added like an extra month or so into where, you know, you play until March basically. So that's how much extra game time you get. It's the game, the Royal version supposedly added 20-30 hours. If you were a Persona 5 player before, do I recommend this? Meh. I mean, it's still great. If you love Persona 5, I guess, and you have no doubts, you probably already bought it. I would still maybe hold off, but if you've never played Persona 5 or ever, forget Persona 5 Royal. $60, easy. Just make sure you're committed. Make sure you don't hate anime. And that's it. That's literally it. There's some dialogue. You can skip it. There's a fast forward button even, and it's like, you don't even have to use it. But trust me, you know, sometimes you want to, especially when I knew about the stories early on. I guess I won't make this video too much longer. It's already long enough. Overall, my final verdict is obviously a 10 out of 10. This is my 2nd favorite top tier game. It is the best game out there, even though it's not my favorite necessarily. It's just flawless, unless it's just not for you. But if it's for you, it is the best JRPG. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII. Man, I can tell it's not Persona. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool, but it's not Persona. Nothing will have the character building like Persona does. The whole journey. You know, you start off just doing that gym teacher, and changing his heart maybe, and then, like, you know, the escalation, the climax is mind blowing. The whole new month, like the whole new thing that comes that they added to the game is top tier, is mind blowing, is great. The final new boss is a boss. It is good. It is, the animation, the art style is perfection. I don't know. I think I'm just repeating myself now, but I can't think of what really is bad about this game. They added some shit. I guess I can think what's negative, that they added the fusion alarm system, in which you get, when you fuse your personas now, and there's an alarm in the place where you fuse your alarm, or fuse your people, fuse your personas. Sometimes it can be random during the alarm. You just get a random fucking persona. Sometimes it benefited me. Sometimes it felt like a waste of time. it just was the most flawed thing they added to the game. Other than that, they added a bunch of shit I had forgot to even talk about. I'm kind of scared this video is just going to cut off, and if it does, I'm uploading it anyway. Here's the warning now. If it's just a random cutoff, you already got my verdict. I guess I'll just keep going. Mementos, you know, they got all types of shit of mementos. They added stamps to that now, to where you can increase the amount of experience or money or item drop luck rate you get. So that's a whole new thing, and that's why I think I got to like level 95. I grinded out a lot of mementos. A lot of your side quests are given. All your side quests are in mementos. If you get like a quest out in the world, then yeah, I would definitely, if you're thinking about playing this game, make sure you do the doctor, Takemi, and because she gives you some rings. Basically, when you use a persona, it takes your skill points, your SP, and the doctor gives you rings that give you SP back every single turn. Otherwise, you just lose it. That's the name of the game. You get a time limit for each palace, basically. Like, to do it at a palace, you create a conflict. Something's going to happen. You have to, within this time, choose to hang out with people or go into a palace. And during that time, you can, if you get enough SP, you can do a palace in just one night. Otherwise, it'll take you a couple trips, and you have to not hang out with people as much or boost your stats. So that's where all that comes into play, and I would say you need SP. Otherwise, you could do melee attacks or attacks that take your HP instead your health. There's also guns in the game. There's a whole gun mod system game type of thing. Some enemies are weak to guns, flying ones. Everything that flies is weak to guns. Pro tip. And yeah, I think that's all there is. Like I said, there's a lot of guns modding. There's a gun shop. And that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. This was quite a long one, but I'm not sure what's coming next. Probably Torchlight or Torchlight 2 or Final Fantasy 7. Let me know if you guys have ever played Persona. It is quite amazing. Enough people don't give it enough tries. A lot of people don't give it a try, but with nothing to do during quarantine, I'm messing up a lot. You can tell this video is too long, but I definitely recommend it during quarantine. Persona 5 Rail, 10 out of 10. Yeah, see you guys in the next one.